This is Inside Indiana Business Radio for the afternoon of Friday, July 24th, 2026. I'm Alex Brown. An expedition to potentially locate Amelia Earhart's lost aircraft that will include researchers from Purdue University is now set to begin after being postponed last year. Steve Schultz with Purdue said the Taraya object expedition will depart in October with the approval of the Republic of Kiribati.
We know that the Taraya object is there. If the Taraya object is the Electra, we're going to need a partnership with Kiribati to make any long-term curation plan successful. So that relationship is very important, and we feel really good for the groundwork that we've laid in it.
The trip aims to determine if the visual anomaly known as the Taraya object is in fact the Lockheed Electra 10E flown by Earhart and her navigator Fred Noonan, which disappeared in 1937. The Cass County Community Foundation is set to cut the ribbon tomorrow on a $6 million project in downtown Logansport designed to strengthen local food entrepreneurs while also bringing the community together. Officials will mark the opening of the Pavilion, an outdoor venue for farmers markets, concerts, and other events, and The Kitchen, a new incubator kitchen designed to support food-related startups. Also on Saturday, the Indiana Convention Center and Lucas Oil Stadium will host a job fair to fill a variety of full-time, part-time, and seasonal positions ahead of the upcoming Indianapolis Colts season, as well as other events. The event will feature interviews and, in some cases, on-site hiring for various roles. From the number one source for Indiana business news, this is Inside Indiana Business Radio.
West Central Indiana is essential to Indiana's future. Join IBJ Media, Inside Indiana Business, and the state of Indiana to explore regional growth Thursday, August 13th in Terre Haute for Innovate West Central Indiana, presented by CareSource, Indiana University, and Old National Bank. Featuring Governor Mike Braun and business and community leaders, join us at the Indiana State University Holman Center Thursday, August 13th in Terre Haute. RSVP now at ibj.com/innovate.
A class of former Parkview Health employees says the company used an illegal time rounding system that shorted workers of their hours and pressured them to work longer or else face disciplinary action.
The named plaintiff, Jakura Milligan, worked as a patient care technician at Parkview Hospital Randalia in Fort Wayne from September 2024 to November 2025. In a lawsuit filed this week, Milligan accuses Parkview Health of failing to pay her and similarly situated workers overtime compensation, a violation of federal and state labor laws. According to the complaint, Milligan was a non-exempt full-time employee, meaning Parkview paid her hourly. She worked 12-hour shifts 3 times a week, including weekends. Although Milligan and the class of plaintiffs worked more than 40 hours per week, the complaint stated, Parkview failed to pay them the required 1.5 times their regular hourly rate for overtime hours, and it failed to promptly pay the employees for all overtime and non-overtime hours worked. Parkview's failure to pay results from a time editing practice, the complaint says, in which an employee's tracked work time is automatically rounded to the nearest quarter of an hour in the system. This time rounding method works for Parkview's benefit, Milligan argues, because she and other employees routinely clock in upon arrival and begin working, but the time could be rounded to appear shorter. According to the complaint, Parkview disciplines employees who clock in late or are not working at the start of their shifts through a point system that, with a few late clock-ins, can lead to warning letters and termination. Parkview Health said in a written statement to the Indiana Lawyer on Thursday that it has not yet received service of the lawsuit, but added it is committed to complying with all applicable wage and hour laws. This is Gary Dick for Inside Indiana Business Radio.
A resolution that received unanimous approval this week from the Gary Common Council is encouraging U.S. Steel to make investments at the Gary Works plant to not only improve production but reduce harmful environmental impacts. The council called on the Pittsburgh-based steelmaker to invest in direct reduced steelmaking technology that it said could replace the plant's current blast furnace technology. The resolution said such an effort would allow Gary Works to continue producing high-quality iron while dramatically reducing its health-harming pollution. Columbus Mayor Mary Ferdin says the city is anxiously awaiting what ideas come in for the planned redevelopment of a key part of its downtown. Earlier this month, the city issued a request for qualifications to find a lead developer for a project to transform what is known as the 4-Pack, which includes the former Sears building. Speaking on Inside Indiana Business Television, Ferdin said the efforts will align with the city's Columbus Downtown 2030 plan, which was built on community input.
We have these great recommendations that came out of our plan, and we're really fortunate because we own these properties, right? They're in friendly hands. And so out of that came some really wonderful recommendations. And we recently released a request for qualifications, and so we are anxiously awaiting what we're going to hear back from some lead developers on who gets to help us make this plan work.
The redevelopment of the 4-Pack site is expected to include a hotel with conference center space, a mixed-use development, and a public event plaza and market hall with enhanced pedestrian connections. Lucas Oil Stadium General Manager Eric Newberger is this week's guest on the Business and Beyond podcast with Gary Dick, presented by PNC, a weekly conversation with high-profile Hoosiers in business, sports, and entertainment, and beyond. Available now on the IBJ Media app or your favorite podcast provider. I'm Alex Brown for Inside Indiana Business Radio on Demand.